James 1:22 states, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. I can stop there. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. Some days, I don't know if you're like me, but some days I look in the mirror and I'm like, what is that? But then some days I look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, all right now. Not so bad. Okay, I see why Tiana married you. You handsome. Ooh. But here's the thing, biblically, when we look in the mirror, all we should see is sin. All we should see is death. All we should see is our mess ups. However, because of the ministry of the cross, when we turn our eyes towards Jesus and we look in that mirror, you know who we see? Jesus. When God looks at you, when God looks at me, he doesn't see our imperfections. He doesn't see our sin. He doesn't see all of the times I've messed up, all of the times you've messed up. He doesn't see that. And it's not because we're good. It's not because we're perfect. It's because Jesus died on the cross. Jesus died on the cross. What is the gospel? The gospel is he that had no sin came down and became sin so that we might be righteous. Because he's a good God. Not because I deserve it, not because you deserve it. So why is this important? Why is it important to turn our eyes towards Jesus? Because it reminds us of who he is. Jason just said it. Pastor Jason just said it. He's high and lifted up. We always have to remind ourselves that Jesus is the one that's elevated, not us. Jesus is the one that's elevated, not pastors. Jesus is the one that's elevated, not worship leaders. Jesus is the one that's elevated. So when we sing, when we worship, when we enter his throne room, we remind ourselves it's not by my goodness, it's not by my deeds, it is simply by your grace, your unmerited favor that I am who I am and I can do what I can do. So I'm encouraging you, brothers and sisters, just for a moment, let's lift our hands and let's turn our eyes towards Jesus. And before the sermon hits, let's just put our attitude in a form of gratitude and have a heart check and say, God, it's not about me, it's about you. And let me check myself today because I want to do what you tell me to do because I don't want to forget who I am because I'm yours.